The point is that there is a latest update with respect doon sa interim release submitted by the defense team of PRRD, and I hope that you already have read news about that. I'm pretty sure there are news already circulating on different social media platforms or any platforms, digital or otherwise, pertaining doon sa latest update, guys. Ano po ba yung latest update? Again, let us not forget, yung latest update po with respect sa interim release is only the response of the prosecution team with respect doon sa pag-file na motion ng urgent interim release ng defense team through the lead counsel, Attorney Nicholas Kaufman. Hindi pa po yung desisyon ng Pre-Trial Chamber 1, yun po ay posisyon lang ng prosecution team. So wag po tayong mag-worry or maghinaan ng loob kasi po it is not a decision yet. It is only a position of the prosecution team. So ang dapat po nating bigyang pansin or bigyan ng pansin pala is to give our unwavering support. Again, manalangin po tayo na hopefully the Pre-Trial Chamber and the judges composition of 3 different judges will look into the merit of the motion na sinumite ni Attorney Nicholas Kaufman and at the same time sa response ng prosecution team. Kasi po, it is very much prudent sa kanila to look at the arguments na sinumite ng both camps. My only concern there was, on the one hand, that the defense team claimed that there has been an expression of non-opposition doon sa prosecution team with respect sa motion nila for an urgent interim release. Now, the response of the prosecution team directly challenges or contradicts the claim of the defense team ni PRRD that of non-opposition. Most especially, they have 4 different submissions as to why the court should reject the urgent release for interim release ni Tatay Digong. Mga kababayan, ang interim release po, hindi po yan indefinite freedom or a vindication na si Tatay Digong ay makakauwi na sa Pilipinas. This is only a provisional freedom para kay Tatay Digong while he is being hosted by the country who already expressed their willingness to host them pending trial. So the whole duration of the trial, doon po magtitira si Tatay Digong. So, wag po muna tayong magbigay ng reaksyon that could jeopardize our energy, most especially our hope and prayers na si Tatay Digong will receive a favorable response doon sa sinumiting urgent request for interim release. Huwag po tayong maghinaan ng loob. This is just a position of the prosecution team. Kasi meron namang position ang defense team. Most likely, as part of the process, magbibigay din ng posisyon ang prosecution team or the prosecutor in this regard. So, huwag po nating dibdibin ang mga position or argumentations or reasons na inilathala or ibinigay or isinumite ng ng Office of the Prosecutor with respect to their response doon sa lead counsel Attorney Kaufman. Doon po, binigay nila doon, we need to be weary nga kasi sinabi doon ng prosecution team or the prosecutor said that even the statement saying that what transpired from the moment of the apprehension of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte was already viewed by many, including the family and even the lawyers, as an illegally done process, resorting to calling it kidnapping. it was even part of the argument of the prosecution team na, yeah, that is them saying that it was kidnapping, points out that they don't see the legitimacy of the ICC, the warrant of arrest, and all this hullabaloo has been perceived to be an illegitimate situation or occurrence. Yan po ang isa sa apat na sinasabi nila bakit hindi po dapat pagbigyan yung interim release or i-grant yung interim release ni former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. So, isa din po sa reason nila is that there is a political position and international contacts ni PRRD. They are saying that CPRRD is a former president. There's been an established international network that could help him or aid him with respect to pointing out that he could be potentially of flight risk. Diba? Sinasabi nila dito na sakit akong kamot kayo, sorry ha. Sinasabi nila dito na that he will have he has a powerful access to domestic networks and international networks as well. So sinasabi nila for that reason you should not grant him the provisional release that they're asking. He is also saying that the financial situation resources, sinasabi din nila na the appeals chamber has previously confirmed that the suspect's access to financial resources may be a factor that will enable them to abscond. While the prosecution do not have access to Duterte's financial records, it's worth noting that Mr. Duterte undertaken blah 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 is consistent to the family's powerful position and connection. So that is also one of their positions, sinasabi nila. Actually, because it's the job of the prosecution this time. Kasi nga sinabi ng defense team, hey, magre-request kami ng urgent interim release. So it's up to the prosecution to show to the court why the interim release should be rejected outright. Yun po, because I was very worried about the reaction yung mga kababayan natin. Nagsasabi, ano bang ginagawa nila? Bakit ganito, ganyan? Makapal nila lang mukha nila, ganito. You know, the raging emotions from from different sectors of our society is very evident. Na talagang very emotional talaga yung reaction nila. Again, guys, let us not forget, this is only the position of the prosecution team. This is not a decision of the pre-trial chamber with respect doon sa sinumiting motion ng defense team ni Tatay Digong. So, this is kumbaga other side of the parlor. Kung dito yung parlor ni PRRD sa defense team niya, ito naman yung sa kabila. Sinasabi nila na ito naman yung posisyon namin kung bakit hindi pwedeng i-grant yung petition or yung motion ni Tatay Digong through his defense team at lead counsel Attorney Kaufman na pansamantalang makalaya siya pending trial. Guys, ano bang kaibahan ng pansamantalang kalayaan na ibibigay kay Tatay Digong kung in comparison for him being detained inside the ICC detention facility? To me, I view that as what it is, a provisional freedom. That is also going to be a breathing space for Tatay Digong to see the outside world while he is head-on facing the legal problem that is being alleged towards him. So yan po ang totoo. Anong question? Pero sa kamusta kasalusugan ni Tatay? Well, as mentioned by the children or by the family who has been able to visit him, sabi din ni VP Inday, Tatay Digong has never been skinnier than before. Sabi niya, or thin. Even when he was not, even before he got married, hindi ganito kaniwang si Tatay Digong. But take note, Tatay Digong is already 80 years old. Yesterday may nakausap, pauwi kasi pumunta kasi kami yesterday sa Duterte Street. May nakausap kaming mga taong nagtatrabaho doon sa loob. na mga ZOR or help. Let's say mga nurses ata yun or whatnot. Ganito, ganyan. Tinanong namin, oh, are you working inside? Kasama ko doon si Ate Stella at si Mami Janet. Tinanong, actually sila nakipag-usap. Tinanong doon nila, sa loob ba kayo nakatira? Nagtatrabaho. Sabi nila, oh, sa loob kami nagtatrabaho. So, tinanong naman nila, oh, do you know President Rodrigo Roa Duterte? Ang sinabi lang sa kanila, oh, he's a very good man. He is very kind, very funny. Ganon ang sabi ng mga taong nagtatrabaho sa loob, guys. Sinabi nila, okay naman daw si tatay. Yun yung sinabi ng mga babae. But the subjective or relative idea of what seemed to be okay from one person to another could be different. In the same way, if I say that what I'm wearing is okay, other people might say it's not okay because of other elements like the weather, where I am located, geographical context, experiences, personal, direct or indirect. Ang dami pong elements na dapat nating i-take into account as to how we characterize yung mga statements. Let's say, ni VP Inday, sinabi niya na thin daw si Tatay Digong, niwang daw siya. But to me, I'm thinking, is that an indication that kung niwang ang tao or payat yung tao na may sakit na siya? Again, I'm also thinking, payat siya because he's already 80 years old. Perhaps sinabi na wala na siyang tiyan. So, ang dami po talagang pwede nating isipin with respect sa ano ang nangyayari doon sa... Maraming salamat, Brian. Ano ang nangyayari doon sa loob. But one thing is very sure. One thing is most certainly a reality. And this comes across whatever elements, is that the Philippines is a sovereign country. We are not a member state of the ICC, and we are not in any way, shape, form, or size under the jurisdiction or under the power of ICC or any other country. What this information makes us: we are free people. We are an independent country. We have our laws existing. We have our own constitution. We have our own courts, which are, by the way, still functioning. Yan po ang katotohanan dyan. That's why tayo po ay naninindigan na talagang dapat makauwi na si Tatay Digong. But as an ordinary citizen, what can we do with respect to influencing a judicial process? Nothing. We literally cannot do anything, especially if we are not a party to the case. We are not a member state, which could probably make a petition, or I don't know, which could pave the way to an appreciation of a new set of witnesses or a new set of documents which could either strengthen the position of the prosecution team or the defense. Wala po talagang ganun, mga kababayan. Ang magagawa lang po natin bilang ordinary citizen is to pray for the defense team, is to pray for our former president na hanggang sa dulo, kaya niya ito. Sa totoo lang. Yan po ang pinaka-importante nating ilagay natin sa ating isip at sa puso, na tayo po ang ating role is to be with Him in spirits, is for Him to feel that our love is so strong and overwhelming that it can pierce through the walls of the ICC detention facility where He is currently being held for 105 days. Ngayon pong araw na ito, it has been 105 days na si Tatay Digong, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, and the elected mayor of Davao City is still being held inside the ICC detention facility. Consistently 105 days. Sinabi din ni VP Inday with respect sa interim release, kailan po ba daw, sabi niya, tinanong niya daw yung lawyer, sinasabi, ang response daw, it will take months, not even weeks. So ngayon, lumabas na yung response ng prosecution team. Maghantay na naman tayo ano yung desisyon ng korte with respect sa dalawang posisyon na nakalagay na dyan. 'Di ba? Yan po ang totoo. Yan po ang dapat nating ilagay sa isip. Huwag po tayong maghinaan ng loob, mga kababayan. Huwag po tayong gumive up. Kasi nagsumite lang ng posisyon ang prosecution team or the office of the prosecutor. That's their job. They need to make a position. Kasi nga, merong motion yung defense team na isumite before the court. Thank you, Elsa Clapis. Bring home PRRD go. Yes po, mga kababayan, huwag po natin niyang kalimutan. Huwag po natin yung kalimutan. Huwag po tayo magpadala sa ating emosyon na para bang yun na ang desisyon ng pre-trial chamber 1. Pangalawa, sinabi din ng prosecution team, the continued detention of Mr. Duterte is necessary to ensure that he does not obstruct or endanger the investigation or court proceedings under Article 58 1B number 2. Mga kababayan, thank you Grace Labay. Mga kababayan, isipin po natin ang interim release. Sabi ng Rome Statute, it is not going to be an option to be decided upon if we can establish na yung tao naman, there is no necessity anymore for him to have a continued detention. Then, if that's going to be the case, it becomes a right. Sinabi yan ng Rome Statute, sinabi yan under the Rome Statute, sinasabi yan. No, I'm not a lawyer, no, I'm just trying to explain to you what I understood of the matter. Perhaps there are more technical jargons better addressed by lawyers, but tayo po, nag-uusap-usap tayo bilang isang normal na Pilipino without any background of law or whatnot. Kasi iba naman, yung law naman talaga, doon mo yan i-file sa court, before the court, if you're going to submit an official position. A case before the ICC, we cannot, again, I mentioned it even before, and yet the prosecutor is using our opinion as a vocal supporter that we view what happened to Tatay Digong. Are we not allowed? Then that's why yung nakita ko na ginawa na ginamit yan ng prosecution team yung ating opinion. Is that how do I say that? Is that now our opinion matter and now it can be used to their position? Yeah, exactly. Is that conclusive to the rules of to the internal rules of the ICC or the opinion? If that's going to be the case, then everybody can just voice their opinion. Sinabi nga nila doon sa rules ng ICC whether your opinion is going to be for or against the person being alleged before the ICC, it does not have merit or whatnot, because we should look into the merit. That's why I was very puzzled with the prosecution even citing a position of the family with respect to how they view the things. Is that possible? Is it possible na pwede na pala yun? Na kasi sinabi ko, ay pangit ang mga ganito. Sabihin din ng prosecutor doon, because Alvin said pangit ang ganyan, so hindi siya dapat makalabas. That is in effect the logic of the prosecutors. But I am just espousing my point of view in this regard as an ordinary citizen, diba? Ang tanong ko po, Sir Alvin, lapit na ng July, di pa makatake out siya. That's also another matter. That's also another matter, guys. That's also another matter that we can tackle. But the latest update right now, we're going to tackle the latest update. Kidnapping naman yung ginawa nila. I view the sentiment that it is indeed like what an ordinary person should view it. A plain and simple kidnapping. Because again, we are not a member state of the ICC. We don't have an obligation. Even the pronouncement of our president is also conclusive to the position of the majority of the Filipino people that we should not cooperate to the ICC because we are not a member state. Cooperating before the ICC, mga kababayan, is basically an affront to our literal judiciary. Yun yung nangyari. For me, in my own opinion, it is just as bad as it gets when we already surrendered our very sovereignty that our forefathers fought very hard for. We are experiencing liberty as it is, or as how we view it, as a byproduct of the deaths of the thousands or hundreds of thousands of people who literally died for fighting for the freedom that we're enjoying, and we're just going to throw it away like that. And now we find ourselves in the legal loophole, or in the legal turmoil na binibigay sa atin na kailangan nating i-resolve, because in my understanding as an ordinary citizen, the only way for PRRD to be brought back to the Philippines now is through the judicial process. Yan po ang iniisip ko, sa totoo lang. That's why it is very painful to see and to even think that our former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte is still being held inside consecutively 105 days now. Everybody saw that as a kidnapping. You know, it was like a thief in the night. He was not given the due process that everybody should be accorded with. Binigyan siya, sinabihan lang siya, hindi ka na, dapat doon ka na mag-explain. Anong tawag dyan sa Tagalog? Parang yung sinasabi sa Tagalog. Doon ka na mag-explain. Doon ka na sa presento ka na magsalita or something like that. It's not supposed to be like that. You know, I would have wanted to really have an opportunity to interview Attorney Kaufman, but it's very difficult to interview him. You need to be lucky to be able to get a grip of him, because I also don't want to get his contacts or whatnot, because why? I am only an ordinary one of the millions of Filipinos who wanted to know every details, every information that's happening before him. Yan naman ang totoo, mga kababayan. Sa presinto ka na magpaliwanag, 'di ba? So, that's very much what they did. They literally disregard all of what the lawyers already have expressed during what transpired doon sa Villamor Air Base. Sinabi na nito, Rule 59, it's not even followed. Wala na. Maglukuhan na lang tayo batay doon. Kabarato na mo palit o pamasahe pa doon sa Dahig. Can you imagine that? Can you just do that to somebody? Much more a former head of state? Can you just disregard the due process that he is trying to establish? Or he's a former prosecutor. He was a prosecutor for an X number of years. He knows the law. He himself viewed what happened to him as a plain and simple kidnapping. So that's why to me it is so difficult to even accept the fact that a former head of state was surrendered, a byproduct of a collective effort of few individuals who, by the way, is in power right now, sees themselves higher than the Supreme Court, higher than the law of the land, higher than the very constitution that we should be governed and we should be able to uphold as employees of the people, by the way. Not the bosses, but employees of the people. Government officials are nothing but employees of the people. You do not have power, or you do not hold power before the people. The power resonates to the people. Ang tao po ang may kapangyarihan dito, hindi po ang mga nasa government office or institutions. That's honestly the worst thing a government official can think or feel, is that they are the boss in this situation. No. Ngano ka nag-English mga Pinoy man imong mga audience? Because ma'am, sometimes if I talk in Tagalog or in Visaya, mga ko ang thought process is very limited. So magkanga-kanga ko ma'am og istorya. Not even in I'm not saying that I cannot talk in Filipino or in Bisaya, ma'am, or vernacular or Cebuano, but I prefer, because English is my everyday medium of tool to communicate dito sa palibot ko, ma'am. So I am more equipped I am more confident to explain everything in that manner. Now, if that pains you that I am speaking in English, you can also just leave the live. You don't need to instill in me how you want things to be. 'Di ba? If you cannot understand, go. I am not forcing you to stay.